push so. Anyway, Mama said I could carry a basket. Mama, she pulled my ears.
Come, that will do. Now, my dears, you may go into the fields or down the lane, but don't go into Mr. McGregor's garden. Your father had an accident there.
He was put in a pie by Mrs. McGregor.
He was put in a pie by Mrs. McGregor. Now run along and don't get into mischief. I'm going out.
Peter, come along, Peter.
Not likely.
Then old Mrs. Rabbit took a basket and her umbrella and went through the wood to the baker.
Now then, a loaf of brown bread and, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 currant buns.
Psst, Benjamin! Peter! I'll try and meet you tomorrow, under the big fir tree.
Flopsy, Mopsy and Cottontail, who were good little bunnies, went down the lane to gather blackberries. But Peter, who was very naughty, ran straight away to Mr. McGregor's garden and squeezed under the gate.
Mama will never find out. And in any case, I'm quite sure I can outrun Mr. McGregor. Yum, yum.
Having a good time, are we?
Radishes, my favourite. Gosh. I can't wait to tell Benjamin. Oh, dear.
Feeling funny, are we?
Still, I'd better not leave that one on its own. Someone might notice it.
Wouldn't have a tummy ache, would we?
I do feel rather sick.
Faster than Mr. McGregor, are we?
Definitely something wrong with that one. I'd best find a little bit of parsley. Mr. McGregor!
Stop, thief! Come back here, you wee pest!
Oh, no! I'll end up like Papa!
Where's that wee varmint? Gotcha, you wee...
Help!
Stop, thief! Oh! Come back! Wait till I get up.
Oh, no! There goes my other shoe! Goodness, where am I now? Must get out. Must get out. Is it this way? No. Oh, I don't know. Perhaps it's this way. Or is it this way? No, this way. buttons are all caught up. Mrs. McGregor will put me in a pie.
Come on, keep on trying. Before Mr. McGregor comes. Quick, Mr. McGregor. Mr. McGregor's coming. Try. Come on, try. Quick, it'll be too late. Oh, come on, Clark, come on.
Gotcha! I know that rabbit's here somewhere. And I'll find him, nae doubt about that. Come on and show yourself, you wee beastie. I know fine you're here. Stop! Stop! Thief!
If you please, Mum, could you tell me the way to the gate? Oh, please help me. But which way? Oh my goodness. I must be quiet. Cousin Benjamin warned me about cats. The gate! The gate! I can see the gate!
Stop! Get back here, you wee beast! You. Stop, thief!
The gate! The gate! Oh no! My coat! My shoes! Oh golly! Mama will be furious. What shall I tell her? I daren't go back in there. Mr. McGregor is sure to be waiting for me. And I'm late for supper.
Peter, late again. Where have you been? Not in Mr. McGregor's garden again, I hope. And where are your clothes? I suppose you're going to tell me that you have lost them again. Do you realise that is the second little jacket and pair of shoes you've lost in a fortnight? You shall go straight to bed without any supper. I must say, you don't look too well. I'll give you a dose of chamomile tea. Do try not to stain your aprons. This should set you to rights. Mr. McGregor's garden, indeed. There. Go to sleep now.
Good night, Mama.
Now then, I think we're nearly ready. Where's Peter? Oh, perhaps he's better out of the way today. Cottontail, arrange these mittens for me, will you? I suppose your cousin Benjamin hasn't called.
No, Mama.
Breakfast time. Lunch time. Tea time. Supper time. Breakfast. Where has Peter got to? I'm sure I said the lane. Or did we say the fir tree?
I think I'm going to stand
Oh,
here
perhaps
and listen to that. I'm afraid you have made a mistake, Mrs. Postlethwaite. To think of all I've done for her. Are you listening to me? The ingratitude of it all. Oh, by the way, pray remind me to get a new pie dish. Well, after all, I made all those scones for that last committee meeting, didn't I? Mr. McGregor
Well,
will agree.
what luck! The McGregors are going out. I'd better find Peter. Though I don't really want to see Aunt Josephine. Anyway, I'd probably only spill things or break something. Goodness, Peter, what do you think? Who's got your clothes?
The scarecrow in Mr. McGregor's garden. And if you're going to laugh, Mr. McGregor nearly caught me. I was only looking around. Maybe I tasted a few things, but you should have seen him.
No. That's what I came to tell you. Mr. McGregor has gone out in the gig. And Mrs. McGregor. And for the whole day. And I'm sure she was wearing her best hat.
Well, I hope it rains. There, look. He's put them on the scarecrow.
Hey, I love that tam o' shanter.
The gate's along here somewhere.
It spoils people's clothes to squeeze under a gate. The proper way to get in is to climb down a pear tree.
Goodness. Be careful, Benjamin.
Oh, come on, Peter, you can do it. Come on, you can do it.
What do you think of this, then? I think my jacket shrunk.
Your shoes are full of water.
Here, catch.
Oh,
Mama will be dreadfully angry.
Aunt will never notice. We'll take her back a present. Some onions, perhaps. Come on, we can use the handkerchief to carry the onions. Aunt will be pleased with us.
Oh, I don't think we need any more, Benjamin. Otherwise, I'll only drop them.
Do taste some of these. You'll like this.
What I would like is to go home.
Oh, don't be such a worrier, Peter. Father and I are always coming here. We come and get lettuces for our Sunday dinner. We'll never get back up the pear tree with all these onions. We'll try the far gate. Come along, Peter.
Well, I'm doing my best. Why don't you help? Oh, no! Oh, bother! Look out, Benjamin!
Be more careful, Peter. Whatever's the matter?
I just want to go home.
Well, hurry up then.
What shall we do now?
Quick, under here.
Do you think she saw us? What's she doing now?
No, it's all right. She hasn't moved. Oh, my goodness. She's coming. What do we do? Keep quiet for a start.
There's no need to cry, Peter. I'm not. It's these beastly onions. I'll never look at another onion ever again. She'll have to go in for supper soon. Please don't mention supper.
Where has that young rascal got to?
Mr. Bouncer? Have you seen my son, Peter?
He's been missing all day.
Benjamin has made himself scarce as well. Just wondering whether I should go and look for him myself. Leave it to me, Josephine. I have a very good idea where they might be. And if I'm right...
Oh, no. You don't think it's...
Return to your little ones, Josephine. I shall deal with the young rascals, wherever they may be.
Gracious, who'd have thought?
And that. Right, take
Uncle Bouncer! And another one for luck, Father!
Away with you! Now then, Benjamin first, I think. And let me assure you, this doesn't hurt me more than it hurts you. Right. Home, you two.
Cool. Whoever heard such a to-do?
You'll stop and think next time, perhaps.
Oh, there, don't fret. Mr. Bouncer's gone to find...
Here he is, Josephine. Unfortunately, none the worse.
Oh, well, at least you've found your jacket and shoes, Peter.
Mama!
Though I shan't enquire where. I am obliged, Mr. Bouncer.
Oh, not at all. My pleasure. Only young once, what?
Happily, all has ended well. But let it be a lesson to you, Peter.
Just before midday. Time for my dinner. Oh, the wee beastie. I'll have no seeds left at all. If this carries on, I shall have to borrow a cat from Miss Potter.
Oh, dearie me. Mr. Benjamin Bunny, Tiddly Widdly, where are your manners? No manners at all.
When Benjamin Bunny grew up, he married his cousin Flopsy. They had a large family and they were improvident and cheerful. I do not remember the separate names of their children. They were generally called the Flopsy Bunnies. When food was short, Benjamin used to borrow cabbages from Flopsy's brother, Peter Rabbit. Sometimes Peter had no cabbages to spare.
Bye-bye, be good.
When this happened, the Flopsy Bunnies went across the field to a rubbish heap in the ditch outside Mr. McGregor's garden. The rubbish heap was a mixture. There were jam pots and paper bags and mountains of chopped grass from the mowing machine and some rotten vegetable marrows and an old boot or two. One day there were a quantity of overgrown lettuces which had shot into flower.
Oh, how vexing. It is Mr. Benjamin Bunny and his unruly family.
Ah, good. We'll be finished and gone before he's through with that. Good afternoon, ma'am. Pray excuse my youngsters. They've waited over long for their lunch today.
Then I think I shall withdraw, Mr. Benjamin, before I am eaten in mistake for a lettuce.
That would never do, ma'am. That would never do at all.
They are such bouncy bunnies and so untidy.
Mrs. Tittlemaus lived alone in a bank under a hedge. Such a funny house. There were yards and yards of passages leading to storerooms and nut and seed cellars. There was a kitchen, a parlour, a pantry and a larder. Also, there was Mrs. Tittlemaus's bedroom, where she slept in a little box bed. Mrs. Tittlemaus was a most terribly tidy, particular little mouse, always sweeping and dusting the soft, sandy floors. Sometimes a beetle lost its way in the passages.
Shoo, shoo, little dirty feet. Your house is on fire, Mother Ladybird. Fly away home to your children.
Beg pardon. Is this not Miss Moffat's?
Go away.
No, do forgive me. My mistake. I'm awfully sorry. Oh, no, please, sorry.
Over
Sorry.
a nice,
Do
clean
forgive me.
house.
Hey, courage and way, Longshanks. Mrs. Tittlemouse does not like uninvited guests. I do believe I can smell honey.
I shall go to my furthest storeroom and fetch cherry stones and thistledown seed for my dinner. I smell a smell of honey. Is it the cowslips outside in the hedge? Oh, I am sure I can see the marks of little dirty feet. Good day, Babbity Bumble. I should be glad to buy some beeswax. But what are you doing down here? Oh, what is this doing in my house? Oh, I am not in the habit of letting lodgings. This is an intrusion. Oh, I'll have you turned out. Oh, I wonder who would help me. I will not have Mr. Jackson. He never wipes his feet. Mr. Benjamin Bunny, of course. I shall ask Benjamin Bunny to help me drive out these tiresome bees. Oh, dear. asleep. Where is Mr. Benjamin? Mr. Benjamin, I am so sorry to disturb you, but as we are both acquainted with Mr. Peter Rabbit, I thought to ask a favour of you.
Oh, Peter Rabbit? Oh, good.
Oh, Mr. Benjamin, I am having such trouble with bees in my house.
Yes, indeed, my very tiresome creature. Had to pull this bag over my head to get any sleep at all.
Oh, dear.
Ah, good day, Mrs. Mouse. Oh, dear, have those rabbits been greedy again?
Oh, Mr. Redbreast, could you help me with my bees?
Bees, Mrs. Mouse? Bees? Nasty-tasting creatures. I prefer a nice, fat caterpillar myself.
Oh, dear. What shall I do?
Well, well, here's my dinner coming now.
Who is that?
Mr. McGregor. He's bringing the grass cuttings to the rubbish heap. That's where I find the caterpillars.
The Flopsy Bunnies! Mr. McGregor is sure to see the Flopsy Bunnies.
He must do.
He'll catch them and put them into his sack.
And then Mrs. McGregor will put them in a pie with gravy and a crust.
We must wake them up. We must warn them quickly. You must all wake up. You are in danger.
Wake up! Wake up!
Wake up!
Wake up!
Wake up! Wake up!
Stop it, you're tickling me.
Come on!
Mr. Benjamin, wake up! Wake up!
Oh, what? Hey, aye.
Quickly, you must all hide now. Oh, he's coming!
Well, hello, my little friend. You'll be wanting your caterpillars, I'll be bound. Nice fat caterpillars you're after, I'm sure. Well, there'll be more than one nice fat titbit hidden amongst this grass. I can assure you of that, my wee friend.
Good night, Mother.
There you are, my friend. See what you can find there. Eh? Well, that's very curious. Aha! Ho, 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 ho. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little rabbits.
Oh!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little rabbits. I'll just away and put them more in the shed.
He's gone! He's gone! Come out! Come out! Oh, dear. What a to-do!
Oh, the poor wee scamps.
Up here! Up here! He's left them up here!
Quickly, Mr. Benjamin.
Can you hear them?
Benjamin!
Oh,
What is going on here?
oh, Flopsy, my dear, you gave me such a fright. I thought it was...
Mr. McGregor has caught your babies and put them in this sack.
My babies? Mr. McGregor? Oh, quickly, Benjamin. Don't just sit there. Let them out. Let them out. Oh, Benjamin, quickly do it.
It's too tight. It's too tight. No, it's no good. We can't open it. Oh, there, my dear. Don't cry. There must be something we can do. I'll fetch my father. Cousin Peter might think of something. Why, Mrs. Mouse, whatever can you be doing?
Mrs. Tittlemouse, how clever of you. Quickly, Benjamin. Help them out. Help them out, Benjamin. That's it. Quickly. Oh, my babies are sick. Oh, wonderful.
Mother, we thought we were tucked up in bed.
In bed, indeed. Mrs. McGregor would have put you in a pie.
What's that? I should have liked to see that happen. I would have saved you, never fear. Come on. Oh, well, all's well that ends well. Now, but look, you children. Look sharp and pass up those old marrows, and that old blacking brush, and 2 of those decayed turnips.
And so they stuffed the sack with rubbish and closed up the hole with a thread. Then they hid under a bush to see what Mr. McGregor would do on his return. But Mrs. Tittlemouse was so alarmed at the prospect that she said good day and scuttled off, back to her home. But what a surprise awaited her on her return.
Mr. Jackson. How do you do, Mr. Jackson? Dearie me, you have got very wet.
Thank you, Mrs. Tittlemouse. I'll sit a while and dry myself.
I have had a very distressing morning, Mr. Jackson. But now I think it is time for my dinner.
Dinner, Mrs. Tittlemouse. The very thing, indeed, the very thing.
Cherry stones, Mr. Jackson? They are the last of my winter store, but very good. Oh.
No teeth. No teeth. No teeth.
Why, Mr. Jackson, I declare. No teeth? No teeth at all. Thistledown seed, Mr. Jackson. These are very soft.
Tiddly widdly widdly. Poof, poof, poof.
Mr. Jackson!
Thank you, Mrs. Tittlemouse. Now, what I really should like would be a dish of honey.
I'm afraid I haven't got any, Mr. Jackson.
Tiddly widdly widdly, Mrs. Tittlemouse. I can smell it. That's why I came to call.
Really, Mr. Jackson, I have no honey in my cupboards. You are all a puddle, Mr. Jackson. You are dripping dirty water onto my nice, clean floor. Indeed, you will stick fast, Mr. Jackson.
Oh, tiddly widdly widdly. No honey. No honey, Mrs. Tittlemouse.
Oh, Mr. Jackson.
Oh, is it in here, Mrs. Tittlemouse? Oh, tiddly widdly widdly, Mrs. Tittlemouse, you seem to have plenty of visitors.
And without any invitation. Oh, Mr. Jackson, here is Babbity Bob. Oh, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson!
I do not like bumblebees. They are all over bristles. Buzz whiz whiz! I've found the honey, Mrs. Tittlemouse.
I shall go distracted.
Mr. Jackson pulled out the bee's nest and ate the honey. He seemed to have no objection to stings and could not be stopped. So the bees gathered up their pollen bags and flew away to find a quieter place for their nest. Meanwhile, Mr. McGregor had come back to fetch the sack. He carried it off carefully, for he believed the Flopsy bunnies were still sleeping peacefully inside. But if he had looked behind, he would have seen them following at a safe distance. They watched him go into his house, and then they crept up to the window to listen.
You're late today. Hope your dinner's not spoilt. Whatever's kept you?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little rabbits.
What have they been spoiling now?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fat little rabbits. A 1, a 2, a 3,
Don't be
a
so
4.
silly. What do you mean, you silly man?
In the sack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Well, they must be off the old rabbits. They're very hard, and every one a different shape. They're not fit to eat. But the skins'll do fine to line my old cloak.
Line your old cloak? I shall sell them and buy myself baccy.
Rabbit tobacco! I shall skin them and cut off their heads. Oh, what's this? My old blacking brush. The marrows I threw out yesterday. Rotten turnips. You silly man, you've made a fool of me, and you've done it on purpose.
The wee beasties. They've got the better of me. Again!
I've got you.
One, two,
Oh, my
three,
little one, are you
4,
all right?
5,
Oh,
6.
And I tell you, there were 6 fat rabbits in that sack.
You take me for a fool, John McGregor. Am I to believe the fairies changed them into marrows?
Well, I
Give
never
your
did.
tongue a rest, woman, I'm telling you. Do you know?
Benjamin and Flopsy thought it was time to go home. The youngest Flopsy Bunny was not much hurt and was soon playing with his brothers and sisters again. But none of them ate lettuces in Mr. McGregor's garden for a long time afterwards.
It has nothing to do with not wearing my hat in the sun, you silly old woman. Never had anything like it in my life. It's certainly nothing to do with the garden, I can tell you that. Where are you, you wee beasties? I know you're in there. Come out. Come out. 6 wee rabbits making a fool of John McGregor.
Oh, never did I see such a mess. Smears of honey and moss and thistledown and marks of dirty feet all over my nice clean house. Will it ever be tidy again?
Poor Mrs. Tittlemouse. But the next morning she got up very early and began a spring cleaning, which lasted a fortnight. First she fetched some twigs and made the front door narrower so that Mr. Jackson should not get in again. Then she swept and scrubbed and dusted, and she rubbed up the furniture with beeswax and polished her little tin spoons. When it was all beautifully neat and clean, she gave a party to 5 other little mice, without Mr. Jackson. He smelt the party and came up the bank, but he could not squeeze in at the door. It was such a happy party. Mrs. Tittlemouse had quite forgiven Mr. Jackson. And although she had no food to suit his tastes, he sat outside in the sun all afternoon, and they handed him acorn cupfuls of honeydew. And he was not at all offended.
Tiddly widdly widdly. You are very good health, Mrs. Tittlemouse.
So, Mr. McGregor did not get his tobacco, and Mrs. McGregor did not get her rabbit skins. But next Christmas, Thomasina Tittlemouse got a present of enough rabbit wool to make herself a cloak and a hood and a handsome muff and a pair of warm mittens. Once upon a time there were 3 little kittens, and their names were Mittens, Tom Kitten, and Moppet. They had dear little fur coats of their own, and they tumbled about the doorstep and played in the dust.
Oh, I do wish Mrs. Twitchett would keep her kittens in order. It's the last straw.
But one day their mother, Mrs. Tabitha Twitchett, expected friends to tea. So she fetched the kittens indoors to wash and dress them before the fine company arrived.
Hold still, Muppet. Well, it will go in your eyes if you squirm so. Dry your ears now. Properly, mind. Stay just where you are, you two. I haven't nearly finished with you yet. I'll never get you tidy. Stand still. Stand still. Oh, keep still. That's it. Oh, well, that will have to suffice. Fresh pinafores for you. Oh, there you are, Tom. Don't they look lovely? Now then, Tom. Goodness me, I'd not realised quite how you've grown. Oh, dear. Breathe in a little, Tom. Oh, now look. We'll just have to make the best of it.
I can't breathe even.
Oh, don't be silly, Tom. Now keep your frocks clean, children.
Yes, Mother.
You must walk on your hind legs. Keep away from the dirty ash pit.
Yes, Mother.
And from Sally Hennypenny.
Yes, Mother.
And from the pigsty. Oh, and the puddle ducks.
Yes, Mother. Let's climb up on the rockery and sit on the garden wall. And if we turn our pinafores round... Oh, never mind. We can fetch it later. Where's Tom? He's still down there. Look. Come along, Tom. Hurry yourself up.
Oh, dear. Not you three again.
Good gracious, Tom Kitten. What would your poor mother say to the sight of you? That's if she recognised you at all, which I doubt.
Rather fetching, don't you agree?
Come, Mr. Jet Puddle Duck. Come and help us to dress him. Muppet. Come and button up Tom.
It's a very fine morning.
Come along. We can watch them from the top of the wall.
Look at you. Look at you. I can't trust you out of my sight. My friends will arrive in a minute and you are not fit to be seen. I am affronted. Now, go straight to your room. And not one sound do I wish to hear. Oh, Cousin Ribby, Henrietta, do come in.
Good afternoon to you, Tabitha. Where shall I leave my bonnet?
Well, I'll take it, Ribby.
Thank you.
May I take your cloak, Celia?
I expected to be greeted by the kittens, Tabitha. Where are they?
I'm afraid they're poorly.
Oh?
Measles.
Measles?
Yes, they're in bed with measles.
Dear, dear, what a shame.
Marty.
I've never heard such a noise in this house. I think this. You did say they were poorly, didn't you, Tabitha, dear? I'm not coming here.
Another piece of parking. Yeah, then, Henrietta.
I shall get one of my headaches.
As for the puddle ducks, they went into a pond. The clothes all came off directly because there were no buttons. And they have been looking for them ever since. Mind you, Jemima was no better at finding things than she was at hiding them. She tried to hide her eggs, but they were always found and carried off.
You will never hatch your own eggs, Jemima, you silly duck.
I wish, nay, intend to hatch my own eggs, Rebecca.
But the farmer's wife has forbidden it. And indeed, I have not the patience to sit on a nest for 28 days, and no more have you, Jemima. Huh, you would let them go cold, you know you would.
I will hatch them all by myself if I have to make a nest right away from the farm. They will see. They will have to apologise. Not the patience, indeed. Now then, the far wood looks a safe, secluded spot. Now that little clearing might be just the place. Oh dear. Dry. Yes, dry. Unsecluded. Prime requirements at the very least. Perhaps between the roots of this...
Mac, Mac.
Madam, have you lost your way?
No. Oh, no, on the contrary. Oh, quite the contrary. The most civil of you to inquire. No, it concerns the nest.
The nest? Oh, dear lady, where?
To be more exact, the nesting place. I am trying to find a really convenient, dry nesting place so that I may sit on my eggs.
Is that so, indeed? But surely the farmyard...
Yes, one would think that would be the very place.
But no.
One cannot call one's eggs one's own. That infuriating hen.
She truly believes that she is the only one with the patience to hatch a clutch of eggs. Well, really.
Indeed, how interesting. I wish I could meet with that fowl. I would teach it to mind its own business. But as to the nest, there is no difficulty. I have a sack full of feathers in my woodshed.
Oh, but... Oh, too kind. Oh, I couldn't put you to the trouble. The inconvenience.
No, no, my dear madam. You will be in nobody's way. You may sit there as long as you like. This is my summer residence. You would not find my my winter house so convenient by half.
I've never seen so many feathers in one place. There must be sufficient for filling at least 2 quilts. Very comfortable, though, and perfect for making my nest so warm, so dry.
Oh, must you go? Surely.
No. I've imposed on your hospitality quite far enough. And already the others will be wondering what has kept me away from the yard so late. But I shall return to lay more eggs tomorrow.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, more eggs. Oh, of course, dear lady.
Now I'm certain I couldn't leave the care of my nest in better hands.
Absolutely. Oh, nothing I like better than eggs and ducklings. I should be proud to see a fine nestful in my woodshed. Oh, what could be a finer sight? Patience, patience, my friend. Ooh, patience.
Jemima Puddle Duck came every afternoon. She laid 9 eggs in the nest. They were greeny white and very large. The foxy gentleman admired them immensely. He used to turn them over and count them when Jemima was not there.
So I shall return tomorrow when I intend to sit my eggs, and I will bring a bag of corn with me, so that I need never leave my nest until the eggs are hatched. They might catch cold.
Madam, I beg you not to trouble yourself with a bag. I will provide oats. But before you commence your tedious sitting, I intend to give you a treat. Let us have a dinner party all to ourselves.
Oh, what a truly splendid idea. Oh, how kind, how thoughtful.
May I ask you to bring up some herbs from the farm garden to make a savoury omelette? Sage and thyme and mint and 2 onions. Oh, and some parsley. I will provide lard for the stuffing. Lard for the omelette.
Sage, thyme, mint, parsley, and onions from the kitchen. Yes.
Jemima Puddle Duck was a simpleton. She quite unsuspectingly went round nibbling snippets off all the different sorts of herbs that are used for stuffing roast duck.
What are you doing with those onions? Where do you go every afternoon by yourself, Jemima Puddle Duck?
Well, they wouldn't allow me to hatch out a brood of my own eggs. That puffed stuck-up, overbearing hen so maligned me gossiping in the farmyard that even my sister-in-law Rebecca said I should not have the patience to sit for 28 days. Well, it's all right for her. She doesn't care to sit her eggs.
Go on.
So I set off to find a secret place where no one could interfere.
And did you?
Oh, a wonderfully secluded clearing in the woods. And the gentleman there was so helpful.
Gentleman?
Oh, yes. Elegant, with the most distinguished sandy whiskers and a beautiful bushy tail. And such manners.
Now, exactly where is this clearing, and how is the house positioned within it?
Kep had no doubt who the sandy-whiskered gentleman was, so made haste to find the 2 foxhound puppies who were out at walk with the butcher.
I believe I've managed to find all the ingredients you required. I've got
Come
this
into the
gauge
house
and-
as soon as you have looked at your eggs.
Oh, dear.
Give me the herbs for the omelette. Be sharp. Oh, yes, yes. Everything is here. What is this?
What shall I do?
Oh, curse you!
And I think that's the last we shall see of that foxy-whiskered gentleman.
What to do?
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear. Oh, my head.
There, Jemima. I'm afraid it's just in the nature of things. Best make our way home to the farmyard, where you belong, my dear.
My beautiful eggs.
Jemima Puddleduck was escorted home in tears on account of those eggs. She laid some more in June, and she was permitted to keep them herself, but only 4 of them hatched. Once upon a time, there was a little girl called Lucy who lived at a farm called Littletown. She was a good little girl, only she was always losing her handkerchiefs.
Oh, where is it? It's not in this pocket. Definitely gone. I've lost my pocket handkin. That's 3 handkins and a pinafore. Oh, dear. Have you seen them, Tabby Kitten? Sally Hennypenny, have you found 3 pocket handkins? Oh. Well, that wasn't very helpful. Was it, Tabby Kitten? Not in here. Oh, Cock Robin, have you seen my handkins? Oh, where can they be? I walked down here the other day with Miss Potter. Perhaps if I go the same way, they must be along here somewhere. Oh, there's someone. Excuse me, sir.
Oh, bless my soul.
Have you seen my pocket handkins? Or even a pinafore?
Afraid not, young lady.
Thank you, sir. I shall have to keep looking then.
Sorry, I can't be of more help. Eh, what?
Mamma is not going to be pleased.
Well, best of luck, my dear.
Goodbye.
Whatever would I be doing with pocket handkins?
Bother. Oh, what's that? I'm sure I can see some little pieces of white. They might just be my lost handkins. Goodness! Who could have put such a tiny bucket there? It's no bigger than an egg cup. Oh! And look at those tiny little footmarks. They must have been made by a very small person. Oh. I wonder who lives here.
Smooth and hot
Forgive
red
me.
rusty spot. Never
Forgive
here
me.
be seen. Oh, who's that?
I'm Lucy. I didn't mean to startle you. But who are you? And have you seen my pocket handkin?
Oh, yes, if you please. My name is Mrs. Tiggywinkle. I'm an excellent Cleostratia. Please, do make yourself comfortable. It is rather warm in here, I know.
Thank you, Mrs. Tiggywinkle. What's that thing? That's not my pocket handkin.
Oh, no, if you please. That's a little scarlet waistcoat belonging to Cock Robin.
No, that isn't my penny.
Oh, no, if you please. That's a damask tablecloth belonging to Jenny Wren. Look how it's stained with currant wine. It's very bad to wash.
There's one of my pocket handkins. And look, there's my penny.
There. Fancy that. They were there all the time. Well, I knew I'd got them somewhere.
I'll just put the iron over them and goffer those.
Oh, thank you,
Come
Mrs.
up with lovely.
Tiggywinkle.
Well, now where did I leave my goffering?
Now, who could that possibly belong to?
That's Sir Isaac Newton's. Not that your mamma would wish me to be discussing gentlemen's attire with you, if you please 'em. There.
Oh, that is lovely.
Another of my specialities, if you please 'em. Now then, just give me a moment.
Goodness, what are they? They seem to have fingers instead of feet. Or perhaps they are gloves.
Oh, that's a pair of stockings belonging to Sally Hennypenny.
Stockings?
Look how she's worn the heels out scratching in the yard. She'll very soon go barefoot.
Why? There's another handkerchief, but it isn't mine. It's red.
Oh, that one belongs to old Mrs. Rabbit, and it did so smell of onions, I've had to wash it separately.
What are these dear, soft, fluffy things?
Oh, those are woolly coats belonging to the little lambs at Skelgill.
Do their jackets take off?
Oh, yes, if you please 'em. Look at the sheep mark on the shoulder. This one's marked for Gatesgaff, and 3 that come from Littletown.
And what are you doing now?
I always has to starch these little dicky shirt fronts. They're Tom Titmouse's and he's most terrible particular.
How smart.
There. Now I finished my ironing. I'll just hang these up to air. And I take it very kindly if you would hand the things up to me.
Of course.
Thank you, my dear.
Dear me, what happened to this?
Now there's a story. As I heard tell, young Master Peter had a narrow escape from Mr. McGregor's garden.
Help! Mr. McGregor!
Stop, thief! Come back here, you wee pest! Gotcha!
Lucky to get out with his skin by all accounts, but the jacket was left behind, and what with the rain and all. Well, I does my best. Look, even the buttons are gone.
Great.
Then Mrs. Tiggywinkle and Lucy sat down to take some tea.
And the last I heard,
All through Mrs. Tiggywinkle's gown and cap there were hairpins sticking wrong end out, so that Lucy didn't like to sit too near her.
I wasn't expecting a visitor this afternoon. Now, I always slip the key under here, and we'll be off. There. Now we'll go and deliver the washing.
Where shall we be going first?
Well, if you please 'em, down in the wood below is the big fir tree, so we shall call on Mrs. Rabbit first.
I hope she can match those buttons.
Seeing as it's not the first time, nor yet the last, I'm quite sure Mrs. Rabbit keeps a jar full of...
Then away down the hill trotted Lucy and Mrs. Tiggywinkle with the bundle of clothes.
Hello, Mrs.
The very first little animals they met were Peter Rabbit and Benjamin Bunny.
Hello.
Tell your mamma
Thank you,
I've
Mrs.
done my very
Tiggywinkle.
best with the jacket, but as
Thank
you can
you.
see...
I will, Mrs. Tiggywinkle.
And all the little animals and birds were so very much obliged to dear Mrs. Tiggywinkle. So at the bottom of the hill there was nothing left to carry except one little bundle. And that belonged to Mr. Jeremy Fisher.
What will they get up to next?
Mr. Jeremy Fisher, a most elegant and gentlemanly frog, lives down by the lake.
I do believe I saw him fishing when I was searching for my handkins.
Oh,
Dear me, do take care, Mrs. Tiggywinkle.
I'm not as young as I used to be. Mind how you go, Miss Lucy, with your clean boots. Water and mud everywhere. Don't know how he can be. So, there. A gentleman has a right to live how he will. Gooey, Mr. Jeremy.
Ladies, ahoy!
I was just about to leave your clean washing and collect from the porch as usual, Mr. Jeremy, sir.
Ah, yes. I mean, no, dear lady. Afternoon, ma'am.
How do you do?
Afraid I have some rather dirty linen here in this basket, so as not to muddy your gown.
In the basket? Bless my soul. Oh, dear mercy me, Mr. Jeremy.
Oh, little mishap. That is to say, well, not so little, really. More of an accident. Very nearly fatal. Skin of my teeth and all that, don't you know?
Mercy me, Mr. Jeremy. What have you done to your poor fingers?
Oh, they're the very least of it.
Oh, Mr. Jeremy.
Much worse happened than a few scratched fingers, I assure you. A really frightful thing it would have been had I not been wearing my mackintosh. It's a tale that hardly bears telling. In fact, I still feel a little faint at the recollection. And yet the day had started so well. But let me start from the beginning. Ah, nice drop of rain. Be good fishing today, I shouldn't wonder. I'll get some worms and catch a dish of minnows for my dinner. If I catch more than 5 fish, I'll invite my friends Mr. Alderman Ptolemy and Sir Isaac Newton. The alderman, however, eats salad. Now then, mackintosh. Galoshes. Now, where did I leave... thought as much. Sandwiches. I know just the place for minnows.
Mr. Jeremy settled himself cross-legged and arranged his fishing tackle. He had the dearest little red float. His rod was a tough stalk of grass, his line was a fine long white horsehair, and he tied a little wriggling worm at the end. The rain trickled down his back, and for nearly an hour he stared at the float.
This is getting tiresome. Oh, I foresee, I fear, an adjustment to the dinner menu. I'll eat a butterfly sandwich and wait till the shower is over. If I could recall exactly what provisions I have in my larder... Oh, you beastly creature! What a nasty, underhanded thing to do. Dear me. I trust that is not a rat. Oh, is there no peace to be had anywhere? I think I'd better get away from here.
There's someone. Excuse me, sir.
Oh, bless my soul.
Have you seen my pocket handkins? Or even a pinafore?
Afraid not, young lady.
Oh, well.
Sorry, I can't be of more help. Eh, what?
Mamma is not going to be pleased. Goodbye.
Whatever next? dear me. Whatever would I be doing with pocket hankins? And pinafores, indeed. A minnow! A minnow! I have him by the nose! Hooray! Ow! Oh! Oh, dear, no! Oh! My goodness! Oh, no! Ouch! What are you doing on the end of my line, Jack Sharp? Ouch! Get off my boat this instant! Ow! Impertinent little rascals. Oh, what to do? Two such good friends. One cannot sit them down to butterfly sandwiches. And they do expect rather a good table. If only I could remember what I have in the pantry. Grasshoppers. Just the thing. I dare say I can find a bit of lettuce for Alderman Ptolemy. But... Never, never have I been so glad to see the light of day. Never has the air smelled so sweet. Oh, God. Oh, what a mercy that was not a pike. Oh. 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 Oh, oh my favourite rod. My basket. My only pair of galoshes. Gone. All gone. Oh. Oh. Though it doesn't much matter, for I'm sure I should never have dared to go fishing again. Just look at my best mackintosh. All in tatters.
Oh, mercy me.
It was a nightmare. I assure you, truly frightful. Ahoy!
Oh, Miss Lucy, here are Mr. Fisher's guests. We must be on our way. I'll do my best with your things, sir, but I can't promise they'll come up like new.
Thank you, Mrs. Tiggywinkle. No, I can rely on you, Ma'am.
Good evening, Sir Isaac. Good evening, Alderman.
Good evening, ma'am. Very pleasant.
Indeed.
Good evening, Alderman. Good evening, Sir Isaac.
Ah, evening, Jeremy, old chap.
But how kind, how very thoughtful. Though I have remembered you only eat salad.
Goodbye, Mr. Jeremy. Goodbye, Mr. Jeremy Fisher.
Come along now, Miss Lucy. Your mamma will be looking for you. She'll have your supper on the table.
So, how?
It's a long story. I'll save it for the port. Perhaps we might take a glass of pond wine with our roast grasshopper and ladybird sauce.
There now, Miss Lucy, dear. Here's where you go your way and I go mine. Please remember me kindly to Miss Potter if you should see her before I do. And I dare say we'll meet another day. Good night.
But... Good night. But where's your cap, your shawl, your gown? If I didn't know better, Mrs. Tiggywinkle, I should think that you were nothing but a hedgehog.
old Mr. Bouncer was stricken in years. He lived with his son Benjamin Bunny and his daughter-in-law Flopsy, who had a young family.
Now take care of the children, Uncle Bouncer. We're going out visiting for a while.
What? Oh, yes, yes. Of course, Flopsy, dear.
There, my dears.
Perfectly all right, my dear.
We won't be long.
No, off you go and enjoy yourselves, eh?
Do you think they'll be all right with Father Flopsy, dear?
Oh, yes. Uncle Bouncer's very capable. Remember how he saved you and Peter from Mr. McGregor's garden when you were very young?
I do.
Oh, any worms down here? Oh, I doubt it. Nothing. Not even a wiggly worm. Not a worm, a wasp. Or even some frogs or tadpoles to nibble at. I shall starve at this rate. Morning, Squire.
Is that you, Brock?
How you keeping, Mr. Bouncer?
Looking after the young'uns for me son Benjamin. No problem. No worries.
Yes. They're sweet little things, aren't they?
No, bear me company for a while. What's the news from downhill, eh? Tommy, me dear fella.
Oh, not so good, I'm sorry to say. A great scarcity of pheasant eggs these days. And very few frogs about. I have not had a good square meal in a fortnight. I shall have to turn vegetarian and eat my own tail.
No. Vegetarian. eat me own tail.
Yes, a great scarcity of nice titbits, I'm afraid. I think it's down to the presence of old Todd, the fox.
No, my dear chap, won't you step inside for a slice of seed cake and a glass of homemade cowslip wine to fortify the constitution?
Don't mind if I do, Squire.
Todd, eh? Don't like the sound of that.
Yes, yes. Always a great scarcity of food when old Mr. Todd is on the trail.
Have a cabbage leaf cigar, Tommy. Here, go on.
Well, I say, that's uncommon decent of you. Don't mind if I do. Ah, that's grand.
Haven't seen old Sir Isaac in these parts lately, you know, or the Alderman Ptolemy for a while either.
No, I'm sorry to say.
Oh, well, I don't get many visitors, me. No, not like he used to be. I'm visiting me all the time.
Yes. You have a nice little sleep, Mr. Bouncer. I'll take care of those nice little rabbits for you.
Uncle Bouncer! Uncle Bouncer!
Oh, no, what's that?
Where are the children?
Father, where are the babies?
Oh, I can smell Badger, Benjamin.
Has anyone been here?
It's old Tommy Brook. He's taken our babies.
Now, don't worry, Flopsy. I'll catch that old rogue. Now, which way?
Oh, how could you let me down? I trusted you.
Ah, this way.
said you'd look after me. I was relying on you.
Oh, drat. Mr. Todd. Only eggshells, plates and pots, pots and pans. Oh, baby rabbits.
Breakfast, lunch, tea, and supper. Lovely grub.
Peter Rabbit!
Whatever is the matter, Cousin Benjamin?
He's bagged my family. Tommy Brock in a sack. Have you seen him?
Tommy Brock?
Yes.
Perhaps if you tell me from the beginning.
Flopsy and I went out visiting neighbours. Father was watching over the young ones, and old Tommy Brock must have arrived. Well, you can guess the rest.
Cousin Benjamin, compose yourself. Because Mr. Todd is at home at the stick house, Tommy Brock has gone to Mr. Todd's other house, at the top of Bull Banks.
Nice places.
Come quickly, Peter.
Suit me fine. Is that the time?
Cottontail, have you seen Tommy Brock pass this way?
Yes, he rested here for a while and was laughing.
Squirrel Nutkin, have you seen Tommy Brock? Come on, Benjamin, come on. Come on.
I'm going as fast as I can. Wait for me, Peter. Peter, wait.
We're close behind him by the scent.
Oh. This is a terrible place, Peter.
There were preparations upon the kitchen table which made Benjamin shudder. Preparations for one person's supper.
Quick, let's look around the other side.
What a dreadful place.
Wait, look. I can see him. He's asleep. I was right. He is here. He's gone to bed in his boots. His smelly old boots. Tommy Brock must have entered through this window.
But he's bolted it from the inside. Shh. I heard something.
Yes. Tommy Brock snoring.
No, another sound.
Look, Benjamin. Look at the little door in the wall.
It's them. It's them. They're alive.
Shh. You're weak, old Tommy Brock. We must remain calm. We must stay rational and plan carefully, or all will be lost. It will have to be a tunnel. It's the only way. A tunnel right under the house and into the kitchen.
Then let's get on with it. Come on.
Benjamin. It's sunrise.
I think we've dug clear under the kitchen floor, so we should be able to tunnel upwards and free the babies.
Shh. Who is it? It's Todd.
Badger. 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 I can smell Badger. In my house, in my bed. I'll fix that badger. I'll fix him, all right. I will wake him with an unpleasant surprise.
Mr. Todd, naturally being a thin-legged person, was quite unable to lift the heavy weight to the level of the hook and rope. After considerable thought, he emptied the water into a wash basin and jug. The empty pail was not too heavy for him. He slung it up, wobbling over the head of Tommy Brock. As he could not lift the whole pailful of water at once, he ladled quarts of water into the pail by degrees. The pail got fuller and fuller and swung like a pendulum.
What's he doing?
At last, Mr. Todd's preparations were complete. The pail was full of water. The rope was tightly strained over the top of the bed and across the windowsill to the tree outside.
What's going on?
Yes, a very rude awakening indeed. Ow! Ah, it's too tight. I'll have to gnaw through it. Got him! But no scream. No scream. Oh, this has turned out even better than I expected. Oh, I will bury that nasty person in a hole. I will bring my bedding out and dry it in the sun. I will have a thorough disinfecting with soft soap and monkey soap and all sorts of soap, and sprinkle Persian powder to remove the smell.
Good morning, my foxy whiskered friend. Just in time for breakfast, I don't think.
Let's get out of here, Benjamin. Run for it, Benjamin. Run in and get them while I watch the door.
Sorry. I'm just looking for me pride.
Flopsy! Benjamin! Peter! Oh, thank goodness you're all safe!
Well, all's well that ends well. That's what our mother always used to say.
I was a bit worried myself, actually.
Thanks for your help, Peter. Oh, I think nothing of it.
Once upon a time, there was a very beautiful doll's house. It belonged to two dolls called Lucinda and Jane. One morning they went out for a drive in a doll's perambulator. There was no one left in the nursery, and all was very quiet.
Come on, Tom Thumb, there's no one about. Let's go and see what we can find. There's no one at home. Let's have a look inside. Oh, look, Tom! What a beautiful dinner.
Yes, it's all ready. And for us. Oh, yum, yum, yum. What shall we try first?
Oh, it looks so delicious.
Oh. Ow! It's not boiled enough. Look, it's hard. You have a try, Hunker Munker.
It's harder than the hams at the cheesemongers.
Oh, let it alone. It's no use. You try some of the fish. I'll deal with you ham.
no good. You can't eat it.
No, it's not for eating. Let's smash it all up.
Oh, yes. Let's. It's all a trick. Oh. It won't break.
Let's burn it on the fire.
Oh.
It won't burn.
There's no salt up here.
While Tom Thumb was up the chimney, Hunca Munca had another disappointment. Then those naughty mice set to work to do all the mischief they could.
Tom, I have an idea. This would be a nice bed for us. Let's take this bolster back to our place.
What? The bolster?
I've always wanted a feather bed.
Oh, yes.
Come along, Tom.
Well, I hope this will be worth all this work. Hunca Munca.
Oh, you'll see.
Oh, it's no good, Hunca Munca. It just won't go in.
Oh, yes, it will. We'll pull it through. Oh. Come on. There. Oh, that's lovely. Now, let's go back and see what else will be useful. This will be fine for my babies.
I can't get it in.
Oh, bother. Oh, well, leave it. What about this? And this. Oh. And that.
How about this broom and dustpan, Hunca Munca?
Yes, I'll bring this chair.
What a sight met the eyes of Jane and Lucinda.
Nurse, what has happened?
Oh, it must be mice.
I shall get a doll dressed as a policeman.
I will set a mousetrap.
And that should keep them out of the doll's house.
The bird cage was rescued from behind the coal box, but Hunca Munca had got the cradle and some of Lucinda's clothes. And those two bad mice were not the only ones causing trouble.
Quick, Hunca Munca, the kitchen.
What is it?
Vegetable Sarah!
Who's that?
Call the cat!
Who in the world is this?
I'm Timmy Willie.
You're Well, you're very welcome, I'm sure. I'm Johnny Townmouse.
How do you do?
Let me introduce you to my friends.
Thank you.
How do you do? Very pleased to meet you there, boy. Don't take a seat.
lovely to see you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I suppose in your travels you haven't been in a trap?
No. What is a trap?
Oh, obviously not. Never mind.
Splendid piece of Stilton. What? Fine bit of cheese. Nice error. Bacon. Nice bit of dripping.
I'm so sorry.
Never mind, never mind. The plates don't belong to us. They come from the doll's house upstairs. You're not from around these parts, are you?
Well, no. You see, I was born in the country, in a beautiful garden. I came here by mistake. It was the hamper, the vegetable hamper. I saw it by the gate and I climbed in. It was full of lovely vegetables. And then I fell fast asleep.
Thank you, my man. And here's sixpence for you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
So much to do. Oh, so much to do.
Then there was all that awful screaming, and I fell in here.
And you're most welcome. Now, why don't those youngsters come back with our desserts? Ha! Jelly! Just the thing. What's the joke, you two?
Oh, it's that silly cat chasing us. That's all.
A cat? A cat? Oh, I don't feel very well.
Do try some jelly, Timothy William. No? Well then, would you rather go to bed?
Yes, I would.
I will show you a most comfortable sofa pillow. Come along.
Good night, Timothy William.
Good night, Timothy William.
Timothy William.
Good night.
Good night.
It is the best bed, and I keep it exclusively for visitors. Have a good night's sleep, and I hope you feel better in the morning. Good night, Timmy.
It's these mice! Oh, what are we going to do? Oh, this is a good one. Oh, what a
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. I wish I was home. Johnny Townmouse and his friends are all very kind, but... Oh, dear. Oh, dear, oh, dear.
It was the same the following nights, until one morning.
What is the matter, Timothy William? Are you ill? Every day you seem to be getting a little thinner. Aren't we feeding you well enough?
Oh, no. No, it's just that I'm not feeling so well. And I do so miss my home in the peaceful sunny bank. All this excitement isn't good for me.
Oh. Where is your home, Timmy?
In my garden with the most beautiful flowers, where I sit and listen to my friends, the birds.
Is that all? It sounds like... well, it sounds rather a dull place.
Oh, no, not at all. Even when it rains, I sit in my little sandy burrow peeping out at the throttles on the lawn
talk to my friend Cock Robin. And when the sun comes out, you should see my garden. Oh, there's no noise except for the birds and the bees.
No, here comes that cat again.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Yes. Well, I must confess, I am a little disappointed. We have endeavoured to entertain you, Timothy William.
Oh, yes. Yes, you've been most kind, but, I do feel so ill.
Well, it may be that your teeth and digestion are unaccustomed to our food. Perhaps it might be wiser for you to return the way you came, in the hamper.
Oh?
Yeah, to your own home, in the, country.
Oh.
Why, of course. For that matter, we could have sent you back last week. Did you not know the hamper goes back empty on Saturdays?
From Hunca Munca. Oh, thank you. Goodbye, Tom Thumb, and all of you.
I have that hamper,
Goodbye, Timothy.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Timothy William.
Goodbye, Johnny Town Mouse. Do try and visit me in the country one day, won't you?
Right, I'm coming!
Oh, dearie me. Mice.
Yep.
Lovely. Oh, it's so good to be back. 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 It's so good to be back.
Hello, Timmy Willie.
Oh, Cock Robin.
Back from your travels?
Yes, yes. I'm so happy to be back here in my own home.
Timmy Willie settled happily again to his life in the garden. Sometimes on Saturdays he went and looked at the hamper lying by the gate. But he knew better than to get into it again. The winter passed and the sun came out again. Timmy had nearly forgotten his visit to town when who should appear?
Ah! Hello, Timothy William.
Oh, Johnny! What a surprise!
I thought I would pay you a return visit.
Yes. And you've come at the best of times. Oh, we can sit in the sun and have herb pudding.
Yeah, it is a little damp.
There you are, Johnny. Try some of this. How's Tom Thumb and all our friends, eh?
The reason I've come to visit is because the family have gone to the seaside for Easter. And Cook is spring cleaning with special instructions to clear us all out. There are now 4 kittens.
Oh, no.
And the cat has killed the canary.
Oh, my goodness.
They say we did it.
Oh.
But I know better. As for Tom Thumb, well, he told the small mice all about a trap that the nurse had set for them. And Hunca Munca has become quite good friends with the policeman doll. Although he never says anything and always looks quite stern.
Well, it all sounds very exciting.
What? What is that fearful noise?
It's only a cow. They're quite harmless. Unless they happen to lie down on you. Come along, let's get some milk.
Milk?
It does seem such a long time ago that I went to town. It seems ages, really. It really is a most fearful journey. Oh, it's terrible. Was the hamper comfortable?
Hide!
What's wrong with your friend, Timmy Willie?
Well, he's not used to the country yet.
How's that? Where's he from, then?
He's from the town.
I see. Oh, well, must be off. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Cock Robin. Come along, Johnny, we haven't got all day.
What manner of creature has come sneaking up? Dear. Barely got myself involved. Whatever is that fearful racket?
What? Oh, that? Oh, it's only a lawnmower. if you just wait here, I will go and get the milk.
What's that? Crikey. Oh, who's that? Oh, thank goodness you're back. Oh, that seemed to take forever.
Now, let's get some grass clippings. For your bed. This way, Johnny. Hold the milk. I'll be back shortly.
Oh, I hope you won't be long. Oh, dear me, my tail is getting all wet. Just look at my jacket. What could he be up to? Oh, I wish he would hurry up.
Oh, it's only a spring shower, Johnny.
The milk's getting wet.
Here, take this leaf. Hold it over your head. There, like this. Oh, the rain will brighten up the flowers. Come along, Johnny. There you are now, lovely. Now, Johnny, I'm sure you'd better settle in the country, eh? Don't you think?
Well, we'll see. I can't go back anyway. The hamper is stopped while the family is at the seaside. Oh.
I'm sure you will never want to live in town again.
But he did. He went back in the very next hamper of vegetables. He said it was too quiet. Johnny got back safely to his townhouse and his old friends. And Tom Thumb paid for everything he broke. He found a crooked sixpence under the hearthrug. And on Christmas Eve, he and Hunca Munca stuffed it into one of the stockings of Lucinda and Jane. And very early every morning, before anybody is awake, Hunca Munca comes with her broom and dustpan to sweep the dolly's house. As for Timmy Willie, well, he stayed in the country, and he never went to town again. One place suits one person, another place suits another person. For my part, I prefer to live in the country, like Timmy Willie. Once upon a time, there was an old pig called Aunt Pettytoes. She had 8 of a family, 4 little girl pigs called Crosspatch, Suck-Suck, Yop-Yop and Spot, and 4 little boy pigs called Alexander, Pigling Bland, Chin-Chin and Stumpy. Stumpy had an accident to his tail. The 8 little pigs had very fine appetites.
Yes, yes, yes. They eat, and indeed they do eat. Come out of there this instant. Oh, dear me. Now they've all run off. I do believe I can't be coping much longer with my unruly brood. Oh, they are indeed becoming a burden and a worry. I have turmoil enough already with it being wash day. And they drink bucketfuls of milk. I shall have to get another cow. Yes, yes. Good little Spot shall stay at home to do the housework, but the others must go. There will be more to eat without them, of course. Blow. Now, Pigling Bland, you must go to market. You too, Alexander. Do stand still. How can I brush brush your coat if you don't stand still. Here are 2 licences permitting 2 pigs to go to market in Lancashire. Attend, Alexander. Miss Potter's had no end of trouble in getting these papers from the policeman. Beware of hen roosts, bacon and eggs, and mind your Sunday clothes. And remember, if you once cross the county boundary, you cannot come back. Alexander, you are not attending. Take the hand of your brother, Pigling Bland. There, sons, I almost forgot. Take these 8 conversation peppermints. A special treat. Do heed the moral sentiments on them. And you'll come to no harm. So uplifting.
This little pig went to market. This little pig stayed at home. Let's see what they've given us for dinner, Pigling.
If you must, but isn't it rather soon?
But we've walked miles and miles.
Oh, very well.
Whee!
But I really am not very hungry.
I'm still feeling rather peckish.
Then why not finish your peppermints? One of mine said, moderation is a virtue.
Well, I would agree, if I knew what it meant. And anyway, I have, ages ago. Give me one of yours, please.
But I wish to preserve them for emergencies.
Don't be silly.
Oh, no, don't. No, stop it. Oh, no, ow. Oh, that's quite enough, Alexander. Mother does expect us to behave responsibly. There now. Come along. It is a long way to market, and we have a considerable distance still to cover.
Tom, Tom, the piper's son, stole a pig and away he ran, and all the tune that he could play was over the hills and far away. Tom, Tom, the piper's son, stole a pig and away... Oh.
What's that, young sirs? Stole a pig? Where are your licences?
There you are, Mr. Policeman. I knew it was somewhere.
What's this? 2.5 conversation suites at 3 farthings? This ain't a licence.
I had one. Indeed, I had, Mr. Policeman.
It's not likely they'd let you start without. I'm passing the farm. You may walk with me.
Can I come back too?
I see no reason, young sir. Your paper's all right.
But I don't want to go all on my own. "5 miles to Market Town. I shall never reach it by nightfall. I cannot bear the thought of market. I never wanted to go in the first place. All those crowds, to be stared at, prodded, touched, then hired by some big strange farmer. All I ever wanted was to have a little garden of my own and grow potatoes. What's this? Alexander's license! Oh, I might just overtake them. Alexander! Wait! Mr. Policeman, I found it! The license! Alexander! Alexander! Wee, wee, wee! I can't find my way home. Goodness, wherever can I be? I can go no further tonight, I fear. But I must find somewhere to rest for the night and shelter from this wind. I'm wet through and through. Excuse me, ma'am, if I might be permitted. I'm afraid it is only a hen house, but what can I do? I must leave no later than daybreak. I fear this is no safe haven for a little pig. Oh, wonderful. I can begin to feel my trotters again. So warm. So comfortable.
Now, 6 should be enough. Come on! I need 6 of you fowl to take to market in the morning, so,
The market?
No! Here's another! This one's come of himself, whatever. Turn out your pockets now.
I am but a poor little pig. I have nothing.
You'll stay for supper?
Yes. Thank you kindly.
Shut up! Be quiet, will you?
It seemed to Pigling that something at the further end of the kitchen was taking a suppressed interest in the cooking. Mr. Piperson poured out 3 platefuls. For himself, for Pigling, and a third.
Get that down, you, and be quiet. Now it says here, but then... It's too late in the season for curing bacon. Oh, well, you may sleep on the rug. I'll say good night to you then. You'll likely be moving on again. Oh, there's my neighbour already. He promised to give me a lift to the market. Now, where are my things?
Mister...
Shut the door behind me. Oh, and don't meddle with naught, mind, or I'll come back and skin you.
Oh, what a silly I am. I should have asked for a lift too. Then I might have been in time for market. Oh, well, I might as well have my breakfast.
Tom, Tom, the piper's son, stole a pig and away he ran, and all the tune that he could play was over the hills and far away.
Over the hills and a great way off, the wind will blow my top knot off.
Now, there is just one possibility. I know. Perhaps if I just... Aha! Very interesting.
Pigling's disturbed night had left him very sleepy, and he soon began to doze.
Well, now, what have you been up to? How's Mr. Piggy Wiggy then, eh? Eh?
I must admit to being a little hungry.
Oh, a little hungry, are we? You feel nice and fat to me. Hey? Well, then, I'd better fix some supper for us, and I now, Mr. Piggy. Well, I'm needing my bed over the wooden hill. I don't want to be disturbed on any account before 12 o'clock. Eggs and bacon upstairs.
My name is Pigwig. Make me some more porridge, please.
I'm Pigling Bland. More porridge? Of course. How did you escape?
He forgot to lock the cupboard.
How did you come here?
Stolen. What for? Bacon, hams.
Why don't you run away?
I shall. Off to supper.
You can't go in the dark. Do you know your way by daylight?
I know we can see this little white house from the hills across the river. Which way are you going, Mr. Pig?
To market. I have 2 pig papers. I might take you to the bridge, if you have no objection.
How wonderfully kind! How can I ever thank you enough? I'm so happy.
Yes. Well, delighted.
How do we get there?
Well, first, we must go...
I've never seen a market. What do we do there? What's it for? Will I enjoy it?
Well,
Why do we need papers? And surely it doesn't have my name on it.
You see... Market sounds perfectly horrid to me. Lots of noise and people and just anyone staring at you. What I would like to do is, well...
Yes, yes? What would you rather do?
Well, if you must know, all I've ever wanted is my own little garden.
Oh, flowers! I love flowers!
Potatoes. Peppermint. I thought you'd eaten them.
Only the corners.
I wish you wouldn't. He might smell them through the ceiling.
Sing something, then.
I have a toothache.
Then I will sing. You'll not mind if I say iddity-tiddity. I've forgotten some of the words. Our funny old mother pigling lived in a sty, and 3 little piggies had she. Iddity, iddity. And the little pig said, wee, wee.
I must be awake before dawn. It'll be our best chance. Come along, Pigwig. Time for us to be on our way.
But it's still dark.
Shh! Not so loud.
How can we find our way?
Come. The cock has crowed. He may have woken Mr. Piperson.
Oh, I really don't know if... It's so dark and...
Come away, Pigwig. We will be able to see when we get used to it. Come. I don't call this a garden. Take care how you step.
Why do you want to go to market, Pigling?
I don't want. I want to grow potatoes.
Have a peppermint.
No, thank you. Not now.
Does your poor Toothy hurt? Oh, well. But who is to know where we go?
Pigwig, keep under the wall. There's a man ploughing. Come on. Not far now, Pigwig. We'll be safe and sound soon across the boundary. Oh, goodness! And we were in sight of the bridge and freedom. Take that peppermint out of your mouth, Pigwig. We may have to run. Don't say a word.
Whoa there! Hello? Where are you two going? Are you going to market? I thought as much. It was yesterday. Show me your licenses. I'm not sure now. This here pig is a young lady. Now, where was it? Ah, yes. Here it is. Lost, stolen, or strayed. 10 shillings reward. I'm up to speak to the ploughman about this. Just you wait here. Walk on now.
Not yet, Pigwig. He's sure to look back. Now, Pigwig. Now!
Here! You two! Come back!
Keep going, Pigwig. The bridge. Freedom. Safety.
You shall have your garden full of potatoes.
And pansies. Potatoes! Hooray, hooray! Success, we outwitted them all!
Tom, Tom, the piper's son, stole a pig and away he ran. And all the tune that he could play was over the hills and far away. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la.
Once upon a time, there was an old cat called Mrs. Tabitha Twitchit, who was an anxious parent. She used to lose her kittens continually.
Kittens?
Tabitha Twitchit had 3 kittens, Tom and his sisters Moppet and Mittens.
Kittens, where are you?
They were always in mischief.
Oh, there you are. I've been
looking everywhere for you. And there you stay, my two young rascals, until my baking is finished.
She caught Moppet and Mittens, but she could not find Tom.
I wonder.
Tom did not want to be shut up in a cupboard. When he saw his mother was going to bake, he determined to hide. He looked about him for a convenient place and fixed upon the chimney.
Now, Tom, I know you're in here. Now come out at once. Oh, Tom, I shall never get my baking done.
Rather smoky here. I cannot go back. If I slip, I might fall in the fire and singe my beautiful tail and my little blue jacket.
Tom made up his mind to climb right to the top, get out on the slates, and try to catch sparrows.
Tom? Oh, do come out, Tom.
It's all right. I can still hear Mother upstairs looking for Tom. So if we're really quiet, and Mother hasn't actually locked us in, so... Shall we make dear little muffins? Oh, do let's.
Tabitha? Are you at home, Tabitha? Oh, there you are, cousin. I was just about to begin my baking when I saw that I'd completely run out of yeast, and I wondered if... Why, whatever is the matter?
Come in, Cousin Libby, and sit you down.
Good gracious.
Oh, I'm in sad trouble, Cousin Libby.
Dear, dear me.
I've lost my dear son, Thomas.
Oh!
And I'm afraid the rats have got him.
He's a bad kitten, Cousin Tabitha. He made a cat's cradle of my best bonnet last time I came to tea. Where have you looked for him?
All over the house. The rats are too many for me. Oh, what a thing it is to have an unruly family.
Well, I'm not afraid of rats.
What?
I'll help you find him and whip him too. What is all that soot in the fender?
Oh, the chimney needs sweeping. Oh, dear me, Cousin Ribby.
Now what?
Now Moppet and Mittens have gone too.
Well, cousin, we shan't find them standing here. Just where would a naughty little kitten hide? Hmm?
Oh dear, they all look the same. Now what shall I do? This seems funny. Who's been gnawing bones up here in the chimney? Oh, I wish I'd never come. What a peculiar smell. It's something like a mouse, only dreadfully strong. Choo! It makes me sneeze.
Lift the candle a little, my dear.
I'll just...
Yes, it is infested with rats. I caught 7 young ones out of one hole in the back kitchen. And we had them for dinner last Saturday.
Well, he's definitely not in there.
And once I saw the old father rat. Oh, yes. He was enormous, Cousin Rebby. I was just going to jump on him when he showed his teeth at me. Oh,
What do you mean by tumbling into my bed, all covered with smuts?
Please, sir, the chimney sweeping.
Anna Maria! Anna Maria!
Ooh, what have we here? A tasty morsel indeed, Samuel. I think I'll just restrain him a little. Oh, keep still.
Anna Maria. Anna Maria. Make me a kitten dumpling roly-poly pudding for my dinner.
It requires dough and a pat of butter and a rolling pin.
No, no, no. Make it properly, Anna Maria, with breadcrumbs.
Nonsense! Butter and dough!
Oh, very well. Have it your way, but I'm perfectly satisfied with breadcrumbs.
I can't possibly manage the rolling pin. It's all very well for you.
Well, I utterly failed to see your objection. The very thing. A pat of butter.
He is rather a large kitten for his age.
Oh, well. Now, one remaining requirement. Up here, if my memory serves me.
Oh, dear me.
I think you'd better fetch the tinderbox, Tabitha.
We have everything we need to make a first-class pudding.
a 2, a 3. Up. Oh. Will not this string be very indigestible, Anna Maria?
No, no, no. It's of no consequence. Oh, I do wish you would keep your head still. It disarranges the dough so.
I'm afraid, Cousin Tabitha, that we've made a most thorough search and not a hair or a whisker of that young rascal have we found.
And I was so sure he was somewhere in the house. But now I wonder...
Tabitha, listen. What? Shh. How very curious.
It's most strange. I really can't imagine.
Well, it's of no importance. Shouldn't we continue to look for those kittens? Ah, here is one of your kittens, at least.
Oh, Muppet, you are covered in flour from ears to tail.
Oh, Mother, there's been an old woman rat in the kitchen and she's stolen some of the dough.
Which way did she go?
I didn't see.
There. You keep with us, my dear, where you'll be safe.
Aha!
Oh, Mother, there's been an old man rat in the dairy. A dreadful, enormous, big rat, Mother. He's stolen a pat of butter and a rolling pin.
A rolling pin and butter? Oh, my poor son Thomas!
A rolling pin? Did we not hear a roly-poly noise in the attic? Come, Tabitha, we must investigate further. Oh, my goodness. This is serious, Tabitha. We must send for John Joyner at once with a saw.
Aye, sounds like rats to me. Arrgh, can you abide them? I'll soon find the wee beggars, no doubt.
Oh, I do hope Mr. Joyner makes haste. That strange noise in the attic makes me most anxious.
Miss Potter's new barrow's come in handy. She'll no mind me borrowing it.
Oh, thank goodness. That must be him now.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Twitchett.
Oh, Mr. Joyner, the very strangest sounds. I dread to think.
Come along, Mr. Joyner, this way. Follow me, quickly now.
His tail is sticking out. You didn't fetch enough dough.
I fetched as much as I could carry.
I do not think it will be a good pudding. It smells sooty.
That's all very well.
We are discovered and interrupted, Anna Maria. Let us collect our property and other people's and depart at once.
Oh dear.
I fear that we shall be obliged to leave this pudding.
Do hurry, Mr. Joyner.
But I am persuaded that the knots would have proved indigestible. Whatever you may urge to the contrary.
Come away at once and help me tie up some mutton bone. I've half a smoked ham hidden in the chimney. There's not a moment to lose.
Mother!
Oh, my poor kitten.
What a splendid piece of good fortune, Anna Maria. I fear it might be a little too heavy for me. Ah, well, as you wish.
I'll just have a wee sniff around on my way down, but I doubt they'll be back.
There might just have been room for the pudding.
I notice that you're not pushing the barrow. You might be of another opinion if you were.
Get along, Anna Maria. You're definitely slowing down.
When I was going to the post that afternoon, I saw Mr. Samuel Whiskers and his wife on the run with a little wheelbarrow that looked very like mine. I'm sure I didn't give them leave to borrow my wheelbarrow.
I hope this isn't a wild goose chase. I presume you have a destination in mind?
Yes, Farmer Potatoes, top of the hay barn.
I do hope Anna Maria isn't going to be fussing about household matters long. She must be aware that... Ah! Ooh. You quite startled me, Anna Maria. Have a care.
Well, never mind that now. Be quick, Samuel, and tie the bundles on, or Miss Potter will be missing the barrow.
Haul away, Anna Maria. Have you, given any thought to, supper?
Thank you, Mr. Joyner. I'm sure your efficiency has been a great comfort to Mrs. Twitchett. You would be extremely welcome to stay for dinner. We are to have a bag pudding, as you see.
Isn't Aunt Ribby clever, Mr. Joyner? She's added currants, and you really can't tell them from the smuts.
Oh, an invitation much appreciated, but well, I've just finished making a wheelbarrow for Miss Potter, and now she's ordered 2 hen coops, so I'll take my leave.
After that, there were no more rats for a long time at Tabitha Twitchett's. In the time of swords and periwigs and full-skirted coats with flowered lappets, when gentlemen wore ruffles and gold-laced waistcoats of paduasoy and taffeta, there lived a tailor in Gloucester. One bitter cold day near Christmas time, the tailor began to make a coat.
The finest of wedding coats for the Mayor of Gloucester. And a cream-coloured satin waistcoat trimmed with gauze and green worsted chenille. Oh, now, how can I fashion this with the least waste of these expensive stuffs? For I am sure I cannot afford to waste the smallest piece. Now let me see.
Two narrow breadths for naught except waistcoats for mice.
Look what I've got. Oh, my. Oh, how beautiful. By my whiskers, I cannot remember when we last had silk of such quality on these premises.
And look at this. And look. Look at this.
Ah. Perhaps there may just be... Yes, a magnificent coat. But we'll need more silk. Yes, thank you. Now we'll see.
What does he say?
Ah, yes. One breadth here, one breadth there, and more thread. Yes, more thread.
Yes, and a measuring tape.
Scissors, pins.
Needle.
Yes. More silk. More
Silk. More silk. We need more silk.
More silk.
More silk.
Now, the lining. Ah, yes, of course, just the thing. Yellow taffeta.
Yellow taffeta. Yellow taffeta. Yellow taffeta for the lining.
What?
Yellow taffeta for the lining. He says the lining will be yellow taffeta.
Oh, my. Yellow taffeta. Just what I would have chose myself. But has he commenced cutting yet? Oh, masterly.
Masterly. Masterly.
Oh, my poor back. But it is done. Now, let me see. That is 1, 2, 3, 12. Coat. And 4 pieces for the waistcoat. Four pieces. For all the lining. What? There's no breadth at all? Tippets for mice and ribbons for mobs. It's no breadth at all. But 'tis all done. Now, let me see. Oh, I'm so weary. And the light is fading fast. Now then, there's pocket flaps, cuffs and buttons. Let me see. Yes, all is ready for the morning. All ready and sufficient. Except for one item. And I am wanting one single skein of cherry-coloured twisted silk. Oh, cold.
The tailor lived quite nearby in College Court. Being so poor, he rented just the kitchen of a house, next to the doorway to College Green. The mice were more fortunate and did not have to brave the bitter cold. With their secret passages and stairways, they could run from house to house. Indeed, all over town, without ever going into the street.
Friend. We shall make our fortune. Oh, but I am worn to a ravelling. Now, take this groat, which is our last 4 pence, and Simpkin, take a china pipkin, and buy a pen'orth of bread, a pen'orth of milk, and a pen'orth of sausages. And, Simpkin, with the last penny of our fourpence, buy me 1 pen'orth of cherry-coloured silk. But do not lose that last penny, Simpkin, or I am undone and worn to a thread paper, for I have no more twist. I shall make my fortune to be cut on the bias. The Mayor of Gloucester is to be married on Christmas Day in the morning, and he has ordered a coat and an embroidered waistcoat to be lined with yellow taffeta, and the taffeta sufficeth. There is no more left over in snippets than will serve to make tippets for mice. What can that be? This is very peculiar. Good gracious. This is passing extraordinary. I'll wager this is all Simpkin's doing, the rascal. Most extraordinary. Oh, I'm worn to a ravelling. I wonder what... Was I wise to entrust my last fourpence to Simpkin? I don't know. The waistcoat is cut out from peach-coloured satin, 1 and 20 buttonholes of cherry-coloured silk, to be finished by noon on Saturday. This is Tuesday evening. Oh... Was it right to let loose those mice? Undoubtedly the property of Simpkin. Alack, I am undone, for I have no more twist. What is that? Oh, Simpkin. Simpkin, where's my twist? Where is my twist, Simpkin? Oh, Simpkin, I fear I am not well. Where is my twist, Simpkin? I'm ill. I fear I have a fever. I'm so weak. Alack, my hand does tremble so. What of the embroidery? Only the finest stitching will suffice. Oh. 1 and 20 buttonholes.
1 and 20 buttonholes.
Of cherry-coloured twist to be finished by noon.
Oh, finished by noon.
On Saturday.
On Saturday?
No more twist.
No more twist?
And it is already
Tuesday.
Oh.
And it is Tuesday
What is to become of
evening.
the cherry-coloured coat?
No more twist.
And what should he do?
What is to become of the cherry-coloured coat?
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
yes, yes.
Yes.
Wait for me.
And the waistcoat.
Embroidered with poppies and cornflowers.
The waistcoat of cream-coloured satin by Saturday, you say?
Cut
Put on the cross, yes, and lined with yellow taffeta.
For the mayor's wedding.
To be finished by Saturday, and it's Tuesday evening.
Trimmed with gauze and chenille to be ready for Christmas Day.
What a magnificent Ah, these venison pasties. Fit for a mayor's wedding.
He gave us tippets for mice.
Oh, my.
Here we are. Is all clear?
In the tailor's shop in Westgate Street, the embroidered silk and satin lay cut upon the table. And who should come to sew them when the window was barred and the door fast locked?
What shall become of the mayor's wedding clothes? For there is no more twist. No more twist. The twist. The twist. What shall become of us?
The tailor had lain ill for 3 days and nights, and now it was Christmas Eve. But it is in the old story that all the beasts can talk in the night between Christmas Eve and Christmas Day in the morning, though there are very few folk that can hear them or know what it is they say.
Think it up and make your pies, bake your pies, bake your pies. Think it up and make your pies on Christmas Day in the morning.
Oh, dilly, 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 oh, dilly, dill. Oh, what shall we have for supper, Mrs. Bond? There's geese in the larder and ducks in the pond, but my master's cupboard is as empty as old Mother Hubbard's.
Old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to fetch her dog a bone. When she got there, the cupboard was bare, and so the poor doggy had none.
Right across the Banbury Cross.
King Cole was a merry old soul, and a merry old soul was he. He called for his pint, and he called for his bone, and he called for his fiddler's tree.
Hey, diddle, diddle, the cat and the fiddle. All the cats in Gloucester. Except me.
Kitty alone, a merry mouse in the mill. Cocked me carry Kitty alone, Kitty alone. It was a frolic day, oh well. Kitty alone, a merry mouse in the mill. Cocked me carry Kitty alone, a froggy word, a wooing rhyme. Kitty alone, a sword and buckler by his side. Cocked me carry Kitty alone, Kitty alone. As black as jet. Was on his high set. Kitty alone, his boots were short as black as jet. Kitty alone, Kitty alone.
to catch a snail. The best man amongst them durst not touch her tail. She pulled out her horns like a little Kylo cow, and run, tailors, run, or she'll have you all eaten now. Hey diddle, dinkety poppety pet, the merchants of London.
Dear me! And the key is under the tailor's pillow.
So merrily marched the merchant men. There I bought a pipkin and a popkin, a slipkin and a slopkin, all for 1 farthing. 3 little mice sat down to spin. Whistle was by and keep. What are you worth, my fine little men? Making goods for gentlemen.
Shall I come in and cut off your threads?
Oh, now, Miss Pussy, you bite off our heads. No more twist. No more twist. No more twist.
No more twist. Saturday, the mayor is... Alack, I am worn to a ravelling, but I have my twist.
Lovely day for the mayor's wedding.
Yes, beautiful day for the wedding.
Happy Christmas. A fine day.
Yes, it's a beautiful day. Happy Christmas.
A beautiful day for the mayor and his bride.
Alack, I have my twist. But no more strength nor time than will serve to make me one single buttonhole. For this is Christmas Day in the morning. The Mayor of Gloucester shall be married by noon. And where is his cherry-coloured coat? Mind thinking. Let me open the door. My fever must still be with me. I cannot believe my eyes. Oh, joy, the miracle. Oh, these exquisite roses. Just look at the pansies. Oh, the poppies. Oh, I've never seen such cornflowers, but what is this? Such tiny writing. No more twist.
How beautiful. A fine coat.
Such ruffles. Such embroidered cuffs and lappets. Just like the mayor's.
Magnificent.
Such tabby silks and rosebuds. Oh, but the buttonholes are the greatest triumph.
The stitches of those buttonholes were so small. They looked as if they had been made by little mice.
News of great joy, news of But may that not be so sad,